Here are some modding tips I wish I knew when I started modding Zenris 2 quite a few years ago.
They don't care. Just start the video.
I mean, well, that's rude. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'll just start. So the first modding tip is to keep all the main modding tools together in one folder.
Seriously? That's your first tip? That's so obvious. How long did it take you to learn that?
I'm not gonna say. All right, I can't remember, but I remember once I realized it. It was really helpful. Now, rather than move around in your file system, again, just make a folder to store all the modding tools that you regularly use. Copy the tool from the original location. Even if you use it once, just add it to the folder. There's no harm. You never know when you'll need to use it again. And then after you have them all in one folder, you can do a open with and save lots of time rather than drag and drop. You can just double click on any file. For example, the DYT file, so you can just double click and it'll automatically open.
Even I knew that.
All right, well, we're not talking about you. All right. Alright, so the next tip involves using Notepad++ to edit XML files.
Well, what else would they use for X? And they're not going to use Notepad. Come on.
You'd be surprised, a lot of individuals in the mod community are still using Notepad to open everything when they should be using Notepad++ for XML files. It makes everything much easier. Now, I'm going to open a BCS file with the x82 XML serializer, and it will generate an XML file. Now you'll see here all this highlight syntax thing. You'll want to make sure you have a good theme that you can easily see the colors are different. And now say you have like a big file such as the BCS. The BCS is huge. And like you're not going to scroll through all of this. So then you want to go to view and you hit hold all. Now it'll all condense all of it to easily be read. All the part sets will be together. Now it's much easier to navigate and scroll through.
Don't forget to mention the plugins for the X.
Right. Okay. Yes, he has a good point. The plugins. Plugins are very essential when it comes to Notepad++ editing. The one I use, that's my favorite to use, is the tool bucket, especially the multiple find and replace and the regular session for find and replace. I've done quite a few mods that I've used in that regard, including the unlock everything mod in the upper right hand corner. The next tip involves the genera files. Every folder you see here is for each character. All the files in each of these folders can be changed and edited while the game is still open.
Alright, Spartix, it's not that hard to close and open the game. That's incredibly lazy. You're lazy, Spartix.
Alright, when you're doing small, simple changes, such as a header change, do you really want to open the game every time to see how it looks?
That's why we use a Xeno viewer.
That tip will come later on. It's really useful for editing the BAC.
Oh, I get it now. It's like for the BAC, you would edit moveset files, and then you make changes in the moveset, in the BAC, and the BCM, and then you can select the character again, and all those changes will be affected. Oh, that's really smart. That's pretty good tip for X.
Oh yeah, it's definitely helpful when moveset editing. I probably wouldn't get into moveset editing unless I knew about that. So the next tip involves Xenobrewer, as our dear friend mentioned. A lot of times I'll use Xenobrewer for doing animations nowadays. I can show you how to put all those in there. I just put it straight in there along with the ESC file for the skeleton data. And then you also want to put the EAM file in there. What you want to do is make sure you select them all.
As for X, you don't have any colors on your character. Did you forget to add them?
Alright, so I just do quick and easy model views of the animation. So I don't include the color. What I just go to material and choose right here. Then I can fully see it. As you saw, as I put it all together into the skeleton. And then you can just double click on animation and you'll see it in the Xenobrewer. Now let's say I want to know the exact frame of a certain animation. I can go here, I can pause it. So I want to know exactly what frame that hand detects, that hand connects. So then I'll keep going forward, and it looks like on frame 19 is when that hand will connect. So I can use that frame number in the BAC file. And I know the EAM index is 50. It's really useful. I use Xenoviewr quite often rather than open the game for small and simple edits or to view an animation.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, who taught you that? That you could go frame by frame.
It's always been there. I didn't know about it until Unleashed made a video about Xenoviewr, which will be in the upper right hand corner. You can check it out. Alright, so the next tip involves using Blender. Now, if you have a mod idea that involves...
No, SportX, no, you can't say that in a beginner tips video. What's wrong with you?
Alright, please let me finish my sentence. I'm saying, if you have a mod idea that involves using Blender and you're worried, just start the process. In terms of zero-state modding, it's really simple to learn. We just use like the bare minimum for zero-state modding. And in order to start with that, you can start with the ESC file and the EMD file. You want to put those into the EMD FBX application, and then this FBX file will be ready to be imported into Blender.
Oh, I had to include that skeleton file every time?
Yes, I've seen very often in the modding community, a lot of people forget to include that ESC file, and then they have problems when they export. The animations are never correct.
SportX, come on. If you say that Zeros 2 Blender is so easy, make a video about it.
You got a good point there. Well, let me know down in the comments if you'd be interested in a simple Zeros 2 Blender tutorial. And you know, while you're down there, if you could like and subscribe.
Wow, SportX, really?
I only mentioned it once. It's okay. It helps the YouTube algorithm. And let me know if this video has helped you in any way possible. And I'll see you guys next time.
Oh, he's finally done. You have any idea how long he did this video for? He had so many takes. He screwed up so many times. What an idiot.